Welcome back to the Wicked Good Golf Show. We did two things prior to this. We did Miss, and we did our Getting Out of the Rough segment based on the U.S. Open and what you might face on your course. Fortunately, we're here with Jack Ross from New England Golf Monthly, and he's been a contributor to us this year on our radio show as well, with some of the Ross's rulings, and it's been tremendous for you to be here with us today. You've been up here in New England for how many years now?
On and off, about 8 years, I guess.
And you like it up here? It's a nice,
I love it.
Nice
I
area,
love it.
right?
I love it.
The golf is not that bad either up around.
Yeah.
But you had the chance to get down and enjoy the U.S. Open. How many times have you been to the U.S. Open? About 2 or 3?
In terms of as media, really, yeah. This was really only my second in terms of media, but I've been to probably about maybe 5 or 6 overall.
Yeah, and how did this compare to some of the others that you've been to, either as media or spectator?
I think, in terms of the course itself, I just it's hard to describe the beauty of the course and how rugged it is, and it takes you back. It really does. They say it's timeless, and it's just, I had a chance to walk the course Wednesday evening with nobody out there except the maintenance people, and that's my favorite time because then you can really see the course, and it's just magnificent.
It was.
I know there was some rumblings. I know Zach Johnson.
Yeah.
But I also heard that he just didn't like. Some of them
set
thought it was
up well
tricked.
for him.
Yeah, they said it was tricked up. And
I didn't hear that too much from most of the players. I know he did say that. I think he used the word manipulation. I think there was a sense that on the first round or two, I think the USGA felt that maybe they had to compensate for the softness of the course, and maybe they went overboard with some of the hole locations. They were tough. But overall, I think what the players said was it's just a really, really great, tough course. And you had holes where you could make birdies. Mm-hmm. You had holes where you probably weren't going to make a birdie and you'd be happy with a par,
Yeah, so it was a good, perfect.
It was a mix, a good mix, yeah.
And that's what you were hearing from the players and everything else. And was that it was a fair test to find the Open Championship, the U.S. Open champion. And that's really what they were looking for. There's a lot of controversy all the time about the fact that the U.S. GA loves the fact that we don't have somebody under par to win the Open. But
par is their goal. It always has been. Even
they
par,
would
usually win.
That's
what they like.
Mike Davis, his line is, "We don't care about the score.
Do you believe
We
him?
just want to make the course play the way an Open course should play, and we can't control the conditions, and the conditions control the score." But we all know that they like to make it a tough test. They don't. They probably weren't thrilled when McIlroy, shot the lights out at Congressional.
But that's the perfect case for what you said, though. That's the perfect case, saying,
that was
hey,
the
they
weather
set it up,
that did
and
that.
Plus, well, he was the only one.
But nobody else did that.
Exactly. That it was.
Right.
I think one of the players, I can't remember who it was. I was reading a magazine. He said, till he just ripped it 350 yards down the middle of every fairway is basically what he did.
He just played flawless golf.
He just manhandled that golf course.
Yeah, he did not make any mistakes that week at all. Where a lot of guys made a lot of mistakes this week, par was what you were shooting for coming down the stretch. Mm-hmm. Double bogeys was what guys were shooting.
Those last five holes, I heard a lot of people say it'd be hard to find 5 tougher finishing holes in a major championship than those 5 holes down at Marion, especially the last 2. Unbelievable. You're hitting an uphill par 4 that's playing 530 yards. It's just nuts,
And that's what you were seeing there. Those par 3s were monstrous. 3 of them.
Very tough.
Very tough holes. We did have our first hole in one on 13?
Yeah.
Hit by Stephanie.
Yeah.
So he was all jumping for joy on that round, and
bounced off the bank.
It wasn't your normal one. It was one of those miraculous.
I loved it because I got a hole in one 2 years ago up at Townsend Ridge exactly the same way. It bounced off the bank to the left of the green. They count, whatever
It
they
does.
count.
It doesn't matter how pretty it is.
But kudos to Justin Rose, the way he played. But you got a feel for Mickelson.
Yeah,
what, right? I mean, what?
6 times, second place. I mean, yeah, it's.
Can he recover from this?
I think he can because
this time, though. I mean,
he's done it 5 others.
I think he can recover. The problem is he's 43 years old, so he's going to start running out of opportunities, you know.
Yeah, this was his best opportunity. He had pointed to this. Everybody taking a lot of criticism for going to his daughter's, not a lot of criticism, I shouldn't say, but people were questioning, is this the best time for you to go? He comes back and
shot a 67 though, so
he, he was a leader through 54, and had opportunities. And
he had it to win. I mean, he really did.
It'd be interesting to see if he ever contends again, like he did. And
he said this was the hardest loss he's ever had in a major. This one. Speaking
of emotional, besides Mickelson's taking that, was Justin Rose, really winning this, and this, it's on Father's Day, and his father is no longer here, and how much they sacrificed for him to come, and the story goes that at 20 years old, his father passes away, and he comes over here, and he leaves to come over and really play more golf over here than he had before.
I don't know if you're a believer that the golf gods have anything to do with what happens on the course. All week long, people are talking about Hogan's famous 1-iron shot on 18 in 1950. Where does he hit his tee shot?
Right there.
3 feet from the plaque.
In fact, I think
that's just
his
uncanny.
Stance is on one side of the plaque and the ball's on the other.
What did he hit in there?
He hit a 4-iron.
He hit a 4-iron, which just goes back to that myth, right? 1-iron, 4-iron.
I had to throw that in there. Yeah.
Exactly.
But,
And then he talks about that this win afterwards in the press room after, and what do you say to that?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, I actually asked him a question at the end of the interview, and I said, can you compare the feeling of winning your first major to being a part of a winning Ryder Cup team last year? Very different experiences, and he talked about the difference between winning as a team and the camaraderie and the celebration. But for him, winning this, he described it as the culmination of a journey, a 20 or 30-year journey of a lot of hard work to get to that point, Is the sky the limit now for him? He got this monkey off his back, this first major, and now he's going to maybe go and really take that next step, which everybody thought he was going to. He's a great player, and I think anytime I think you get that first one under your belt, it probably does change your attitude a little bit. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see another player as all the other ones. There's so many great players right now, young players. It is up for grabs. There's nobody out there. Everybody can win as a test to the number of first-time winners. So many good ones. Jason Day made a good run there. He was right in it at the end. He only show up during the majors. Yeah, I don't know. You got Adam Scott, who wins the Masters. You got Justin Rose, who wins the U.S. Open. Is it Jason Day? Is he going to win the Open Championship or the PGA? Is it his time coming up? We got a lot of interesting questions to answer. I give Justin Rose a lot of credit because what I know is that he's going to be playing in the Travelers Championship this week in Connecticut. He committed to doing that, and even though he wins the U.S. Open, he's going to honor that commitment, and that's why he's really one of the gentleman's champions. Yeah. Really tremendous event. You must have really taken a lot from that and enjoyed that. Where are they going to be able to read about some of the things that you've experienced on the U.S. Open? Well, if you go to our website, you can just Google New England Golf Monthly, or you can go to mynegm.com. Right. And there's a U.S. Open notebook, and it has all my articles there. So you can get him, and also Ross's rulings as well. My favorite piece was about the wicker baskets. Do they know where that came from? They don't know. Well, it's debatable, but basically the person who designed the courses, spent about a year or more studying courses in Scotland and England, and apparently at that time there were wicker baskets being used over there. So that's the story that he picked it up over there. Well, we got to get out of here. It's been great for you to join us, Jack. Appreciate all the insight to the U.S. Open. Bomber, great tip and myth as always. And we're going to see you guys next week. And as always, as we say, keep hitting them straight.
think I better take a mulligan. Yeah, yeah, I think I better take a mulligan.